pleased to inform you that Mr. President has carefully considered the fifth interim report of the PTF and has accordingly approved that, with the exception of some modifications to be expatiated upon later, the phase 2 of the eased lockdown be extended with another 4 weeks with effect from Tuesday, June 30th, 2020 through midnight of Monday, 27th July, 2020. Specifically, however, the following measures shall either remain in place or come into effect. 1, maintaining the current phase of the national response for another 4 weeks, in line with modifications to be expatiated upon by the national coordinator. 2, permission of movement across state borders only outside curfew hours with effect from 1st July 2020. 3, enforcement of laws around non-pharmaceutical intervention by states, in particular, the use of face masks in public places. 4, safe reopening of schools to allow students, only students in graduating classes, resume in person for preparation for examinations. 5, safe reopening of domestic aviation services as soon as practicable.
Good morning and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki and I'm with my co-host Precious Chukwudi. Here on Today in the News, we read and give in-depth analysis on some of the stories making waves on the dailies across Nigeria. And of course, this morning we'll be starting with the front page of Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of Vanguard, we have Emir of Jaira, seeing security now worse than civil war. You're right, Afenifere Ohaneze Pandev. Emir cautions Nigerians against distracting security agencies. You have no excuse to fail, Buratai tells the special forces in Katsina. And of course, you can see more of this on page 5. Now on page 10, we have a billionaire businessman, Bode Akindele dies at 88. On the Naira Watch, we have Naira appreciates to 386 Naira per dollar in I&E window, and you can see that on page 27. On page 11, we have Lagosians grown as failed roads cause gridlock. 6-year-old girl raped to death in Kaduna Mosque. You can see more of this on page 8. Inspector General of Police restores Ondo Deputy Governor's security details, and more of that can be seen on page 15. Prepare for real change, APC Caretaker Committee tells members. Still on page 9, we have COVID-19. Federal government lift interstate travel ban to lockdown 18 local governments. Phase 2 of East lockdown extended by 4 weeks. Premise 6, Junior School 3, Senior School 3 to resume for terminal exams. And that's all we have on the front page of Vanguard. From there, we'll move straight to the Punch.
And on the Punch newspaper, we have major headlines. APC interim panel to visit Tinubu begs members to withdraw suit. The Riders Gaidom hands over to Benin, commends Buhari for saving ruling party. And we have a photo story of the Kara Bridge along Lagos Ibadan Expressway undergoing rehabilitation. And stories beneath, we have federal government okays primary 6, GSS 3, SS3 resumption, ends interstate lockdown, daycare, other primary, secondary school classes, higher institutions remain short. Domestic flights to resume. Churches, mosques, cinemas remains closed. Also on page 5, we have Ondo travelers, abductors reduce ransom to 10 million naira. And on page 4 and 5, police arrest 2 for siphoning fuel from Lagos homes. On page 15, we have power grid has collapsed 108 times after privatization. On the stories above, we have Buhari Olubadan Makinde mourns as business mogul Bode Akindele dies. You can see more on that story on page 8. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have again AGF Army refused to produce killer soldiers as Wadume trial begins. You can see more on that story or page 16 of Punch newspaper, and that's all we have on Punch newspaper.
And that's all we have on paper review for this morning. We'll be coming back after the break, and we'll go into the analysis segment. And Mr. Adeyemi Adeoye, host of executive producer Energy Platform Show, will be joining us via Zoom after the break. Stay with us. We'll be back. Alright, welcome back to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki, and I'll be with my co-host
Precious Chukudi.
And now we've reviewed some of the front pages of the papers, and we'll be going straight to the analysis segment. And we have Mr. Adeyemi Adeoye, host, executive producer, Energy Platform Show, is joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Adeyemi. Good morning, Mr. Adeyemi.
Good morning.
Okay, now going straight to the analysis, we have on the front page of Vanguard, the Emir of Kano raised alarm on over what he described as multifaceted security threats facing the nation, saying what Nigeria is facing now is civil war. Afenifere, Aneze, and Pandev also shared the same views with him. What do you think of this statement that Nigeria now is facing a civil war?
First of all, thank you for having me. And the fact is that even if we don't have any evidence to say this is a civil war, I want to believe that statement is meant to send the message that all is not well in the country, security rights. The Boko Haram war, which started almost about a decade ago, has now been joined by kidnapping, banditry, and the rest of it. So, to a sense, it is a civil war because, well, those of us in the southwest, south, and southeast might have a little kind of sort of peace. In the northeast, it has not been very funny. There has been hundreds of thousands of displaced citizens of our country who have had cause to been moved from their homes, and they've been in IDP camps for years now, and they've become refugees in their own country. You know, and of course, you know that whenever you hear the word refugee, it's always an aftermath of probably a war. You know, like we've seen across the world. So for these people to be displaced and remain in camps like refugees led by the government for years, it speaks to the fact that whoever calls this a civil war may not be wrong. And even if we know that it's just a section of the country that this has affected, in spite of that, we also know that it has taken its toll on our national economy. You know, funding the military to continue this engagement in the northeast has not been without some sort of setbacks, economically speaking, because some of the billions of naira that have been doled out to the military could have been expended on very needed infrastructure across the country. The healthcare sector, we're in the COVID era, the healthcare sector is begging for resuscitation, and could use a lot of those funds, but because of the dire circumstances that in the northeast, the federal government has had no choice but to give it a very serious priority, and that is the reason why these leaders of thought would have referred to the situation as a civil war. And I think it just goes a long way to tell the federal government that all is not well. All is not well. More needs to be done, and we respect the fact that there are no more attacks on our nation's capital like we used to see back in the days. We country, and those have ceased. We used to have situations where about 14 local governments were kind of taken over by these groups, by the Boko Haram, and then all these have ceased. We agree, but we still know that more needs to be done.
Okay.
A lot of killings are going on there, and more needs to be done. I guess that is what the movement is about.
Okay, Mr. Adeoye.
We expect the government to give this.
Okay, when it comes to fighting insecurity,
Yes.
when it comes to fighting insecurity, they've used different techniques, different approach to fight insecurity. Now, the emir is saying that they should use the same approach that they used in tackling the war to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria. Do you think this same approach will work?
Well, the emir's statement, in as much as he's not in the forefront of this fight as we speak, but is a
Okay, I think he's back. Mr. Adeoye, are you with us? Okay, I think we're having a network problem here with Mr. Adeoye. Okay, we'll be back after the break. We'll continue.
Good morning. The time is 7:40 a.m. This is APAPA OSHODI Expressway. When we are coming all the way from Second Rainbow towards my two, very busy. Both the main carriageway and the service lane being occupied by tankers and trailer. And turning back towards my two proper.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News on Vanguard Live. And we've been with Mr. Adeoye Adeyemi, the host and executive producer, Energy Platform Show. And he has been analyzing some of the stories on the front pages with us. Mr. Adeoye, before we went on the break, I asked you the question that Emir said they should use the same approach they use in tackling the war to tackle insecurity in Nigeria. So what do you think? Do you think the approach will work?
Yes, I think the emir is concerned, and we respect him. Is a leader of thought in this country. But the fact still remains that whatever approach is being suggested, like several approaches have been suggested by different quarters, it is important to note that intelligence gathering is key in arresting this situation. I mean, we've been doing the same thing for years now, and the Boko Haram have continued to, they've refused to go away, So they've continued to attack soft targets, but we call it soft target, but at the end of the day, we still lose people. People die. So I am of the opinion that in furtherance to what the emir has suggested, intelligence gathering is the essence. We need to invest a lot in intelligence gathering. We recall very closely the issue of Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden in the US. The US went to war, was expending about $4 billion a year just to bring Al Qaeda, to his knee and arrest Osama bin Laden. But it didn't work until they started investing on intelligence gathering, and it was intelligence gathering that got or finally, bin Laden, arrested or killed. So the role of intelligence in fighting this sort of war is crucial, it's very important, and it's pertinent if we want to successfully put this behind us in our national history. So, in as much this. It is that intelligence that the military would need and rely on to do what is expected, which is to capture these people and put this behind us.
All right, let's move on to other headlines. And the APC interim panel is to visit Tinubu this week. And, with all the back and forth happening in the APC party, I want to ask you, do you think that the dissolution of the APC party National Working Committee was targeted at their national leader, that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu?
Okay, so we have seen different views from different corners of the APC in the last few weeks. What has really happened with the APC is sort of a movie, so to speak. But with your question about the national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, I don't think, from what we have gathered anyway, that this whole exercise is targeted at him. Yes, that is what the rumor mill is agog with. Rumor has it that he is the target of this whole exercise. But of course, the presidency has come out to debunk that claim, and the gentleman himself has come out to debunk whatever claim and assure the country that his loyalty remains to the president, and in as much as he's free to throw in hard to contest for the presidency of this country, it is not his current issue at the moment. So politicians have their way. Of course, when they say they are going right, you have to also look left and be sure that what they have told you is actually what they meant. We know that, but if we go by what they have said, what the presidency has issued a statement, and the national leader has also issued a statement. So if we go by these two statements, we can boldly say
Hello, Mr. Adeoye, are you with us? Hello?
I think there's a break in transmission. Okay, we are sorry for that.
Hello, Mr. Adeoye.
that's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. It's just the break in transmission.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I need to quickly make this point. In spite of the fact that the presidency and the national leader of the APC has debunked this claim, it is also important to note.
Hello? Mr. Adeoye, can you hear us? It's a bad network and all of that. I think we should just
We're sorry for the break in transmission. I think he's back. Mr. Adeoye.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay, continue with your point, sir.
Okay. So this whole issue, this whole exercise was brought about due to internal party wrangling, and it's avoidable. And it shouldn't have gotten to the point it got to. So I wouldn't really say this whole situation was targeted at it, because at the time the president got involved, he got involved at the time when things have really gone bad. He needed to salvage whatever it is that is left of the party, and everybody was doing everything. People were going to court, taking laws into their hand, irrespective of the internal reconciliation structure of the party. Almost everyone had a case in court. So to bring all these warring parties together, and don't forget, politicians are very opinionated people. To bring all of them together takes more than it takes an effort. So that is why the president had to swing the big stick and did what it did, so that there could be sanity. Because what was happening in the APC was worrisome, really, even for those of us that are apolitical and that are not politicians or card-carrying members. Observing what is happening in the APC from the outside was worrisome. It was going off like a party without leaders, And of course, we know there's a national leader, but the president remains the head of the party, and he had to do what he did at the time.
All right. Speaking about the national. Okay, speaking about the national leader, people, there are a lot of analysts that are saying that, the president's support for Gyadom is a way of, his death move against Tinubu for 2020 presidential polls. What do you think about that? Because, there's still a lot of things going on in the party that people are not really sure of what exactly is happening.
Well, like I said earlier, there are rumors and there are facts. So, in as much as we know that even the rumor what we refer to as rumor, there's a saying that there's no smoke without fire. So, what we refer to as rumor could have some element of truth in it. And even those that are not political know that the national leader of the APC is desirous of running for the presidency of this country. So, we do not need professor of politics to tell us that. The feelers are all over the country. Everybody knows that the national leader wants to, succeed the current president. But the gentleman has come out to say, even if that is the case, he is not contesting now, and that is not the issue before him now. And all that is before him is supporting the president to make sure the president succeeds, the party succeeds. Fine, that is what he has said. Even if those are political statements, but we cannot deny the man his rights to express himself the way he chooses. So for now, the rumor is one thing, the fact is another thing. What we know is that he is desirous of becoming the president of the country because a lot of his supporters and a lot of his aides have pointed or alluded to that fact over the years. So that is as far as we know. But talking about the man himself, the national leader, he did not come out to say he is not contesting, he's not interested. He just said it is not time. It's still too early. Right now he's trying to build to support the president and make sure that policies are successfully delivered to the Nigerian people. So, in as much as that could be a political statement, but that is the man's official position as of today. We'll continue to watch the scene and observe these people. Officials they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, so we'll continue to watch them and hold them by what they say and not what we think they want to do, but what they say. So basically, I think the national leader has issued a statement, so Nigerians should respect it for now and wait until the man officially pronounces that he is contesting.
Okay, moving on to other stories on COVID-19 updates. Federal government partially lifted the ban on interstate movements amidst concerns that confirmed cases keep increasing. On the front page of the paper this morning now, the confirmed cases have risen to 25,133. So I want to ask you, do you think there are any genuine concerns as regard to security and also to the health of Nigerians?
You ask about genuine concerns. I would say COVID-19 exposed us all. It has exposed Nigeria what it is. Nigeria is not a nation, it's just a country. And the present time, as of today, we don't think about the future, we don't think about the children. I have never seen a government in this country that has never come on board to talk about a plan for the children because they are future generations. But of course, and that is what we have taken into the health sector over the years, abandoning that sector like it is not important. Now, we have gotten to the point where COVID-19 has exposed us all. So, my take is simple. COVID-19 has brought us to a point of reality check. And what is reality check? Our health infrastructure in Nigeria is embarrassing. It's a national embarrassment. And there has been no plan by government. Everything you see that is happening today is ad hoc. It is just ad hoc, impromptu, and an emergency plan. And when you talk about planning, you have a crisis. No. It is something you do before you have a crisis. Okay, so right now we are only we're reacting. So our strategy is reactionary. You know, we don't have a projected strategic planning. We are just reacting to what has happened. We don't have adequate healthcare system to tackle any crisis, any crisis. Not to talk of a pandemic. When a crisis gets to the level of a pandemic, then it is crucial. It is dangerous. We don't even have a health system to take care of a normal crisis or a normal health crisis, maybe like polio, an outbreak of polio, yellow fever or something. But this is a pandemic, and that is where we find ourselves in this situation. A situation where you find out that the healthcare budget in the year is so little that you can barely serve the state. That is how poor we value the health sector. We don't see it as something important. Doctors are not well paid. They are always going on strike. We know this. Many of our doctors are jostling to travel out of the country to go and work and earn better pay. We know that these things are happening over the years, but we never bothered. We never bothered until the pandemic. So I think we have more to do with regards to the COVID-19, both during this COVID.
Mr. Adeye, sorry to cut you in.
We cannot stop. We need to continue to build health infrastructure. An unhealthy nation is a dying nation. We cannot survive without an adequate health system.
Okay, PTF says that 18 local governments in Nigeria are responsible for COVID-19 cases, and they could actually be shut down. How do you react to this?
Well, I think what PTF said is about 85% or something of the cases are in that 15 local government. PTF gave a percentage. Now, that is beautiful. Another problem we have done into ourselves in Nigeria is that we don't value statistics. Statistics is key to national development or to nation building. Now, we thank the PTF for giving us those figures. If we know those 18 local governments, what should we be doing? What should we be discussing? Shut down, quarantine, and government effort, 50 to 60% of government effort should be moved in there. If not even 70% of government effort should be moved in there. Testing, face masks, social distancing, hand washing, 50 to 60% of government budget to fight COVID, of government effort for isolation centers, building of isolation centers, and ensuring improving on testing. All this should be zoomed in to those 18 local government. This is the beauty of statistics. So once you have the statistics, it enables you to know what to do, to know where exactly is this problem coming from. So when you have that, that figure, then you're good to go with regards to planning. Statistics helps planning. So I think I would be glad to see that the PTF is not only reading out figures, but also moving to plan and use that figure to achieve success with regards to the fight against COVID-19.
All right, so let's just move on to another headline in the papers, and it's the fact that rain has been falling of late, and our roads are really bad. Speaking about bad roads, yesterday we had an experience with the Apapa, my 2 area traffic, because of bad roads. And how exactly, can our roads be fixed, especially in these times of heavy downpour?
Well, we go back to the same issue of statistics. This is where statistics planning come into play. We don't wait. We all know the state of our roads. Every government comes in and makes promises, but at the end of the day, nobody does anything about it. Now, these things, if you travel the world, you see that these things that we seem like it is insurmountable, we cannot fix it, it's so big, it's so huge. These things are not rocket science. In the time, we know when we can, ensure that the roads are fixed. During the dry season, we have the rainy season, we have the dry season. During the dry season, we could ramp I said earlier, we are reactionary in our strategy.